There have been some pretty high profile incidents of anti-Semitism in the news recently, obviously Kanye West and his various statements. Okay, but he's one person. It's anecdotal if terrifying. What about the American people at large? Well, there's a new poll that was done by the Anti-Defamation League asking the American people what they think about a number of statements about Jewish Americans, and this is not good. They've been doing it, by the way, since the 1960s, so we're gonna be able to compare now versus then. But when you ask them, for instance, do most Jewish people stick together more than other Americans? 70% say yes. That's almost overwhelming support for that statement, but okay, it's just stick together, that's not too bad. In business, go out of their way to hire other Jews is at 53, majority support. Are more loyal to Israel than to America is at 39. Now, maybe that has something to do with the fact that Trump continually says that that's true, but always like to be at the head of things. I don't even know exactly what that means. Do not share my values, have too much power in the business world. Those are at 36 and 26. I love this one. In business, are so shrewd that others don't have a fair chance. That's just complaining at that point. That's not even that they're doing anything illegal. You're just saying that they're talented and you don't like it. But that's a quarter of the American public now saying that. What do you think, Brett?
I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's as a half Hebrew individual. I like that it's less than half.
That's not great.
You know, the glass is half full. I guess it's just like, I love that there's like more. It's not a surprise, right? There's a lot of people, even who think they're being nice when talking about Jewish people, are like trafficking in exclusively historically anti-Semitic tropes. My favorite is whoever came up with the questions is like, all right, so we have to have some that don't seem that anti-Semitic, but like, let's give them an option. Let's see how many people will bite at. In business are so shrewd that others don't have a fair chance. And 1 in 4 people is like, oh yeah, for sure, let me give that a yes.
Totally, yeah. Now look, thankfully there are some conspiracy theory stuff that they do not ask about, but as bad as all that is, some of you might be thinking, okay, but those statements aren't too bad. First of all, read those again, because they're not great. That's not the end of the list, by the way. It continues. Have too much control and influence on Wall Street. I think I know where they're going with this. 24%. Don't care what happens to anyone but their own kind, 21. Overall, too much power is 20. Are more willing than others to use shady practices to get what they want. I feel, I don't like that, 20%. Have a lot of irritating faults. That's just petty at that point.
Go on.
Are not warm and friendly. What are you talking about, stuffed animals or humans?
That's because they all live in New York, you know what I mean?
And are not as honest as other business people. Now look, for some of these you're getting down into it's only 16%. That's only 40 million plus people who think that, but they have too much power over Wall Street. They don't care what happens to anyone but Jewish people. I mean, look, I'm glad that we're not at 100%, but I would not have bet that there would be that much support for some of these statements.
After a Holocaust, can you just, everyone do me a nice solid and never say like too much like about anything Jewish. Like don't say too much, because when something's too much, you gotta do something about it. And I don't feel like even these things that you think Jews have too much control over is something I want people like tinkering with ways to change about it. Like it's pretty tough to be 2% of the population in America. Like it's very difficult. People talk about Jews like there's all these Jews ruining stuff. Like there's not that many of us. And they've been through a lot. And there's a lot of historical reasons why two things exist. One, successful Jews, and two, like your negative interpretation of that success with think about your concept of the American dream. Work hard, get ahead, and achieve success. Now, the concept that Jews did that is somehow now that some Jews did that, and everyone pretends it's all, but it's definitely not. It's a percentage of Jews, just like a percentage of any other like massive like population in America. But now suddenly that's not okay. I don't like it. You shouldn't like it about yourself if that's what your opinion is. When you're like they're too shrewd in business, it's like what do you want?
less shrewdness. It's chopped.
Shrewd
really.
is just such a creepy word too.
I don't like it because that I don't even want to think about it. Okay, so both of those charts are bad. I want to show you one more because I think it's worse. When I say that 30% of the country will agree with a certain statement, you can say that that seems objectively bad, but it's a little bit unmoored from context. What does that mean in comparison to other places, other times? So they've been asking these questions for 50 years. And here is the bad thing. Over that period, the responses, the percent who agree with them, had been trending down. And I say had been because you know what time we live in. And between 2019 and 2022, the numbers have gone back up, in some cases, massively back up. So when you look at like Jews go out of their way to hire Jews, in the last 3 years, they erased a half a century of progress. Jews are more loyal to Israel is significantly higher than it has ever been before.
That's such a weird one.
All of these metrics have gone up in the last few years. Now, granted, we don't have a data point for 2015 or 2010 or whatever. I would like to see the year-by-year numbers, but it's difficult to not think about some of the things that have been going on over the past few years that could potentially explain why these numbers would be skyrocketing.
And that's a graphic that starts with 0. The ones that always creep you out, just everyone keep this in mind, is when it doesn't start with 0.
I don't like that.
And all the increments are equal, so an actual slope of that steepness, I guess, is significant. It is a huge increase. That goes from, my favorite question is the Jews are more loyal to Israel. That went up by about 15%.
It went from 25 to 40, it almost doubled in 3 years.
Yeah, 15 percentage points, it doubled. So that one I don't understand. That one's so creepy because it's like
Trump
Jews,
specifically says it repeatedly.
Right, but like most Jews are Democrats and you think Democrats hate Israel. Like that's what a lot of people say. So it's like, how are they more loyal to Israel? It's just like, and it's so weird. It's like out of convenience, mostly right-wing people try to find examples of people within a demographic to say, I'm cool with them, we're friends. And for right-wingers, it's like fundamentalists saying that Jews, by giving them a home, will help me get into heaven. It's very weird, but like at the end of the day, you kind of go against everything that they espouse, which the religion is pretty chill. It's pretty like, most Jews these days are pretty mellow. I don't know.
For me, it's like I can try to come up with a lot of explanations as to why this happened. I don't think it's that, man, over the last 3 years, lots of people have had really negative interactions with Jewish Americans.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. What do you think? Like if I say, okay, I'm gonna say something and then you come back with something more likely. Online conspiracy theorists, right-wing pundits and politicians. What do you got? What do you think?
They do weirder stuff.
Think about what they've been able to do in 3 years and think about what the consequences might be of countless tens of millions of additional Americans having bigoted views towards minority group.
We won't even tell you to go to hell because we don't have one.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Anyway, too shrewd for that.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.